So this is where I grew up. I started in the darkness. And then, well, gritty streets of Brooklyn, New York. This is where it all began for the Oracle. Became streetwise and street smart. Seen things that you'd only see in the movies. Never had any idea that my family had any kind of influence over anything. I went to Catholic school. Could see now the neighborhood's changed. No longer Italian. They're all different. We were never multicultural. We were just the Italians that lived in Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst. And if not, I'm not saying anything, but if you Google Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, they'll tell you it was the La Cosa Nostra capital of the world. Little did I know. Went to private school, grammar school, wore the uniform. But I became street smart. Yep. And there was one time I never forgot. This kid thought he could pick on me when I was in the 4th grade, maybe the 5th grade. This was the first time I ever saw a gun before they became popular in popular culture like now. So he pulls a knife on me. I'm close to my house. Don't eat fried chicken, you fat shit. Yeah. I'm close to my house and I'm running up my driveway. I pick up the garbage can. I'm a little kid. I'm in the 4th or 5th grade. I pick up the garbage can cover, alright, and he was coming after me, and I pushed my side door in. Luckily, it was unlocked. I made it inside. Story gets better. This is long before my crypto days. I was a youngster, private school. So I tell my dad what happened. I never forgot Eddie. That was his name, Eddie. And he used to try to bully me. Well, when he came at me that day with the knife and I made it in my house, I just happened to mention to my parents, and little did I know. A few nights later, there's a knock on the door. Young Oracle in his formative years, knock on the door. And there's this giant hulk of a man, like you'd see in a movie. Typical mafia kind of guy. And he's dragging this bloody mess of a kid to my house. My father wakes me up, says, come upstairs. 11 o'clock at night. I'm getting ready for school the next day. I'm in bed. My dad's in his boxer shorts. He's asleep. They drag this kid up. They sit him down. He's all beat up. Apparently, they knocked on his door. He was a bad kid. And they just took him out of his house right in front of his parents. And they continued to, they gave him a beating. Alright? And, those tomatoes. They gave him a beating. They brought him to my house. They sat him at the table. I came up. I was in shock. I never seen anything like this. This wasn't the days of video games and violence in movies. The first time I ever saw a gun was when the big man, I know his name, but I can't recall at the moment, put it in his mouth and said, you see this kid? This kid is like your brother from now on. You will not say a word to this kid. If this kid has a problem, you will help him. He is like your brother. Anything happens to him, we're going to come and get you again. And then, that's all I knew. And they dropped him off, I guess, at his house. And he never bothered me anymore. Story of an asshole, but that was the first time I seen a gun. And this was back in the day. Wasn't like now. Skin flints. Irish cocksuckers getting drunk in there causing trouble. As the Oracle got older, Oracle met his first MMA fighter. Oh, this was a great story. We're driving down the heart of New York City. There's like 6 of us, right? And you know, back then we these little Italian guys, we seen Rocky, we thought we were the shit. And we jump out in the middle of it's like Times Square. And this one tall, long-legged guy gets out. And he starts throwing these roundhouse kicks and everything. None of us could get near him. None of us could get near him. So, the moral of that story, we left. Fuck that. The moral of that story is what you need to do is you should learn some martial arts, teach your kids. Then there was another story, my friend Vinny. Vinny worked for one of them chop shop brokerage firms. The ones you don't hear about anymore, like in that movie Boiler Room. Go look it up. Anyway, so I remember Vinny. Me, Vinny, my boys were out one night. Back then, driving my mom's Eldorado. Still a young uncle. This is before the stank finger. Okay. And, well, we're out by a place on Sheepshead Bay, Emmons Avenue. I think it was called the Bay Club. The Bay Club. Let me see if I can find that. Well, I can't find it. But anyway. So we're over there. We come outside. Some guys, this is how it was back in the day, mounted off to us. We mounted off to them. We get out of the car, right? And they did a small move, I gotta tell you. So it's me. Don't make fun of their names, the real names. My boy Fabio and Vinny. We get out of the car and there's these 4 guys, right? Fabio's there, he's fighting with, actually it was like 5 guys. Fabio's there, he's fighting with me. Right? I had a chain around my neck. They ripped the chain off my neck. But the first thing they did was reach into our car, my Cadillac, rip the keys out and throw them. So we couldn't get away. They thought they had the upper hand. Vinny, okay, was a douchebag always. All right, he had a leased Ferrari and he lived in one room in his mom's house. We call that ghetto rich. That was when he worked at a firm. Well, I don't need to give names. It was on Wall Street. It was a chop shop. But anyway, so I'm there fighting. Guy cracks me in the mouth. I'm standing up against my car. I spit blood in his face. I'm like, that's all you got? I crack him back. I turn around. Vinny's gone. Vinny's gone. It's me and Fabio and like 3-4 guys. And they threw my keys. There's no escape. So we fought it out. Okay. Wound up that some lady started yelling from the window. They got in their car. They ran. We had to search all over for the keys. We go. We get the keys. We get out of there. We call Vinny the next day. Vinny, what happened? Oh, I went to get help. You went to get fucking help? Are you kidding me? And this is like, I mean, we're talking, I'm 17, 19 years old. All right? But we were always like this. These were our formative years to learn how to be street smart, aggressive. And you take that and you put that into money. And I've built businesses. I've been on Bloomberg. I've escaped these shitty streets in New York City. I live on a beautiful island now where it's always summer. And let me tell you my words of wisdom as the okay, money's not everything, but it's everything if you ain't got enough of it. It's everything if you ain't got enough of it. And I got to where I am by risking it all. Risking it all. I had to become the greatest trader. I had no choice. It was that or nothing. And you know what? The more money I made when I made it to the top, the more I spent. 5 Lamborghinis and all of that. And I never liked to have to pay monthly bills. So I always paid for everything in cash. And it's good because a lot of those things became assets. Sometimes you need money, sell an asset. I had to interrupt this. It looks like Bitcoin's going down. Look at that. I was down how much? You were worried about me, right? Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'm running Shiba short, Doge short. Okay? I don't care if I leave these till Monday. Monday, these all get wrecked. Solana, BTC, that might be short term. BTC again, I only had a relatively small wallet, so I only did $500, $150. I like 100x. You notice what I'm doing? Everything's 100x. On this exchange, as long as you watch your available margin, okay? Don't close them too small. Watch your available margin to make money. Now, let me tell you, I've been rich, I've been poor. You know, it didn't unpause. I don't know what you missed. Last I was looking at was this. Hold on. I was looking at my trades, how they were coming into profit. But let me tell you, I've been rich, I've been poor. I've owned businesses. I don't know if you heard this part. I was on the Big Idea with Donnie Deutsch twice. QVC, the Home Shopping Network. Let me tell you, 1 out of 10 companies get invited there. I was invited there. I sold out the first time. I went on again and I sold out. And only 1 in 10 companies get invited back. I've owned restaurants. I built businesses from scratch. You see these things? This is not how you get rich. This is the most horrible business you ever wanted to own. There's inventory, there's waste. You gotta hope people walk by. There's employees, there's rent, there's headaches. Never, ever. Okay? My father owned one of the first Dunkin' Donuts stores in 1958. And then he owned a bunch of them. And then I took control as I got older. And I began to run them. The people from Dunkin' Donuts came to see me, the corporate people. Why were my store sales up 50% and everyone else was struggling? Because I was better than them. I implemented new ideas, things that were never done before. This was the old hood back in the day. And I never thought I'd be rich. Well, I always desired to be rich. And I tried everything, network marketing. I did everything. I was a stockbroker, a cold caller, an options trader. I bought the courses. I did the Tony Robbins. None of that crap matters. You need to find your thing in life, your niche. When you find it, all of the greats, from Picasso to all of the greatest in the world, okay, to, George Clooney, anyone you want to look at, do you think they did it for the money? Do you think I do this for the money? No. I do it for the love of the game. And I tell you, I was rich. I made it big when I first got into Bitcoin. Rich relative, but I don't know what's rich to you. I don't know. What do you want? 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 100,000 a month, 300,000 a month, $500,000 a month. What do you want? What makes you happy? Okay. I could tell you that once you have all your needs taken care of, and maybe I got your Lambos and your $1,000 jeans, and you bought your Fendi $1,000 sneakers and your $500 t-shirts, and you did all that, and you live in the most beautiful place, a glass box, you got no debt, everything's good. What you need? The burning desire. Once you achieve that level and you move from here, it was 86th Street. I remember back in the day, Bay Ridge, shout out. Now it's all different. Century 21, I don't even think they're still there. They used to sell clothes cheap. Now I have a designer that brings clothes to my house, a personal shopper that brings me the best of Fendi, Hermes, Dior, thousands of dollars worth of stuff, and I pick what I want. See, you trade and you worry. It's human emotion. I don't worry. I know direction. I know what's going to happen. And I'm going to have huge returns. So I wanted to take this time to talk to you. People talk about manifestation, meditation. That's all mental masturbation. Action. I had tried so many things before I made it. And then you gotta have the will. You gotta be able to pick yourself up when you fall down. If you can look up, you can get up. I've been bankrupt twice in my life. First time was after I was on TV and after I thought I made it. Then I got into crypto. And then the bankruptcy trustees sued me and took everything I had. Even my first Lambo, everything. I had to start from zero. I had nothing. Started a YouTube channel. And it took off. Maybe people liked what I had to say. Maybe I was a regular person. And I always tried to teach and pivot with the times. We had lending platforms. We had all kinds of things. I tried to stay away from the sketchy stuff. And I tried to think from your shoes. If I had to start now, what would I do? Because I did have to start now from nothing. And I became bigger and better than ever before. Now, yeah, maybe I could have been more responsible. Maybe I shouldn't date 24, 26-year-olds. Maybe I should be married. Maybe if I had a wife, she would have never let me do the things I wanted to do, the chances I wanted to take, work the incredible hours I work, 20 hours a day. Here's the secret to wealth. Forget a job. Find something you love and then become the best at it. And by doing that, it is no longer work. It is, you're a specialist. You become top dog, in demand. You're the one. That's you. That's what happened to me. I became a specialist in making money in Bitcoin. Without the Ponzi schemes, the pyramid schemes, the garbage, the fake DeFi, which is 2017 relived. You know, humans can time travel, but they cannot. You know why? Because you're human. Let me explain. You know a lot more now, however old you are, than when you were 8 or 12 or 10 or 17. I'm sure. Imagine if you had that knowledge, maybe the knowledge that you'd acquire over life when you were 30, 40, or 50, but imagine if you got it in your 20s. And people older than you try to tell you things and you don't believe them. And you don't want to listen because your human nature wants to try your own way. And that's why you waste your time and you don't time travel. You do stupid things that the people who've done before and maybe even succeeded have tried to show you, and you are just too thick-headed, just stayed stuck. Nowadays, everything is saturated. Forget owning a franchise. I've done it. You're buying a job. You want to open a Subway and get up, make sandwiches every day when that jerk-off calls you and don't come to work? Or you're out of lettuce or out of tomatoes or out of napkins, or the pipes broke, or you don't have enough money to make the rent because enough people didn't walk in every day? Oh, even better, you want to open your own business? What? Selling phone accessories, clothes? The rents are huge, and 90% of you will fail. For me, I thought the only way was to be an influencer. Maybe if you had something great and taught others, okay, and shared that knowledge, it would come back to you. And so far, it's given me a wonderful life in many ways. And they're trying to take away our crypto way of life, and I'm trying to motivate you to go for it now. 90% of the YouTubers you watch are fake, phony frauds. They're kids that have never made shit, all right? I am the real. You've seen the money I make. I don't play. I was born on the streets. I was born cheap. Actually, I was born free, became very expensive.